Hey, what's going on, Eric and Fergus and the rest of the team? My name is Chris, and I'm the one who designed your website. Today, I'm just going to be quickly going over how to log into the website and some basic functionality that you guys can use to go in and add posts, edit content, and just anything that's on a more basic level for you to be able to handle, so you don't always have to reach out to us to make quick and easy changes. That being said, you guys can always reach out to me by phone or email. I'm always willing to help you out in any way that I can, give you advice, or even do some of the work myself. So jumping right into it here, as you can see, I have both the dashboard open for AJ Mixing and SMICO. Since these both are built with WordPress and both built with the same page builder, they're going to be edited exactly the same way. So if you've never logged into a WordPress site before, I'm going to send you the direct link to log on to both with a username and password. But if you don't have access to that link, or you just want to know for your knowledge, to actually log into the backend of WordPress, you're always going to go to your website domain /wp-admin. So right now I'm logged in, but for the sake of you guys, you're not going to be logged in already. So when you go to AJ Mixing site for the first time to log into the dashboard, you're going to be taken to a screen exactly like this, as you see here. So you're just going to copy the email that I send and the password that I send and log in. You can check Remember Me, so you don't have to log in every single time. If you're using the same browser on the same computer, it'll just automatically log you in every single time that you try to go into the website. So that's easy enough. Once you log into the dashboard, this is where you'll be taken immediately. So as you see down here on the left-hand corner in black, these are all the different areas of which you can go into and make some changes. A lot of these you will never even use, so don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. There's only a few over here that you'll ever need to use to make changes and make edits. So starting off, I just want to kind of elaborate the difference between posts and pages, because this is often the biggest area of confusion for people using WordPress for the first time. So posts, always think about posts as your blog, and pages as every other page on your website. So each time you want to upload and add a new blog or edit a past blog, you're going to go into posts. So if we go in there real quickly, you'll see all the blog posts that we've created so far, when they were published, and if they're if they're properly SEO'd. So just going into one here real quickly, we'll go into solving industrial mixture cleaning problems. You're going to see that the post is contained right here in the text. So this works really similar to Microsoft Word, Google Docs, any page that you use to type anything out. It's literally the same exact thing. So right here, if we highlight this, you'll see that it's a heading 2. You can change the text from paragraph to heading 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 6. And headings are used just like titles. So if you want to break content up, adding headings is really effective. And not only for user experience, but also for SEO. Google looks and crawls your site to see if you have heading 1, 2, and 3 tags specifically around the keywords that you're trying to rank for. So for example, industrial mixer is, what this is about, and solving industrial mixer cleaning problems. And you're going to see that in the heading 2 right here. You're also going to see industrial mixer in the URL, which you can change up here. And then, you can just you can either write in here, or you can write it in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, and then, just come over here and paste it. If you have any questions about, just the formatting, or if you ever have trouble, just feel free to reach out to me. So if you're typing it in here, you notice over here that here's a blue hyperlink. So if you ever want to hyperlink anything, meaning link out to another page on your site, or another website that relates to what you're talking about, all you need to do is highlight what words you want to link from, and then you can either use a shortcut. Whether if you're using Mac, it would be Control and then K. If you're using a PC, it would be Control and then K. If you're using a Mac, it would be Command K. Or you can just go up here to this little link icon right here, insert link, and then you can just type or paste the URL into here. If you want to remove a link, it's very easy. You can do the same process that I just mentioned with the keyboard shortcuts. Or what you can do is go up here to this second link right here that says remove link. And if you're ever unsure of what these things do, you can just hover your mouse, your cursor right over top of them, and it'll tell you, what it's all about. Some other just quick and easy things you can do is right here is the text color. You can change the text color from any of these predefined colors, or you can go into custom and paste your href or whatever color code that you're using in there. And then you can obviously bold, italicize, add some bullet points, some numbered list, a blog quote, which kind of emphasizes, key phrases in the blog. It'll like block it out and like indent it a little bit. And then you can increase, decrease indents, but I don't really use that too much. And everything else, I don't really use either from up here. One last thing I will mention is add media. So that's important. If you want to add pictures inside of the post, you're always going to want to go to add media. So say I wanted to add a picture right here in between these two paragraphs where my cursor is, in between industrial mixer cleaning, ... and above this idea or some variation. I will put my cursor. I'm gonna first space it out, so the spacing stays consistent. I'm gonna hit enter after application, add a space, make sure my cursor is flashing right here. And then I'm gonna go up to add media. And then it'll bring me to this media screen of all of the photos that I've uploaded so far to the website. So you can go through here and choose a photo that you've already uploaded in the past. Or if you want to add a new photo, you just scroll over here to upload files and then select files, and then it'll bring you to all of the files you have on your computer. Just navigate to the corresponding folder where you can find it, double click it, and then hit upload or hit insert into post. And then it'll prompt you to, add some meta description over here, which is always good to know. And then you can just hit this button again. It'll say insert into post, and then it'll go into your blog post. And then everything else, it's very, once you get in here, it's very intuitive. You'll pick it up pretty quickly if you've ever used like Microsoft Word, like I mentioned. The biggest other thing I'm going to say about post is optimizing it for SEO. So down here is something that we use. It integrates perfectly with WordPress. It's called Yoast SEO. So what Yoast does is it allows you to put in a focus keyword, what you want to try to rank the page for. And then it'll give you suggestions as to what to optimize on the page in order to achieve that result. So for this specific blog post, we chose to optimize it for industrial mixer cleaning. So down here, you'll see different colors. So you're going to see green, red, and orange predominantly for the most part. Green means it's good. If something is green down here, it means that you don't have to worry about it anymore, and it's properly optimized in the eyes of Google. If it's orange, that means it's not currently optimized, but it's okay because Google's not really prioritizing it as one of the top things it's looking for in terms of showing your website for a specific keyword. But that being said, you still want to make sure that all of the oranges you at least try to fix. And if you can't fix it, it's okay, but definitely make sure and try to fix it before saving the page and making it live. Now, if something is red, that means it's really, really bad, and you want to make sure you do everything that you can to change that to either orange or green. So a lot of the times when you add a new blog post, one of these dots over here will be red because you didn't properly add a meta description. So I know this is a lot to take in at once, but if you miss anything, just scroll back in the video or reach out to me, and like I said, I'll be happy to help. But for the meta description, you're always going to use the snippet preview box up here. And a snippet preview is basically, it's showing you what this page is going to look like if someone finds it searching organically on Google. This is different from a paid ad, obviously. This is organic traffic, so traffic that you're not paying for. This is what it's going to look like. But if I were adding a new blog post, if I were creating a new blog post and wanting to upload it, it wouldn't look exactly like this because I wouldn't have edited it yet. So in order for me to edit this, I need to just click Edit Snippet right here. And then it'll bring me up with an SEO title, a slug, and a meta description. So I'm going to say this right now, slug, never touch this slug area because the slug corresponds to your URL, which is up here, the backslash. And if you change the slug down here, it'll affect the URL up there and your page, it just won't work. So never touch the slug, only touch SEO title and meta description. So the SEO title, you can add whatever you think is best here, and then go down and scroll and see if it matches and aligns with Google. Just like a best practice though, like what you always want to do is include the exact focus keyword that you choose right here. You want to make sure to include that exactly in the SEO title, and Google prefers it to be at the very beginning. So for example, if I were to add like the right here, that would be worse because there's a word in front of the focus keyword. And that's for the SEO title. Now, alternatively, with the meta description, you still want to include that exact focus keyword, but it doesn't have to be at the very, very beginning. It can be contained in the beginning, middle, or end of the meta description as long as it's in there somewhere. So that's basically it for SEO. Oh, and then one other thing, if I were to add an image in here, let's say we add an image right here. We'll just add any of them from the media library. We want to add this image right here. Always make sure to include the focus keyword in both the title and the alt text. So if we're doing industrial cleaner, we'll just say that's the focus keyword. We want to make sure that we include that in the title and the alt text. So if there's only one image on the page, I always include the focus keyword exactly, nothing more, nothing less, as the title and alt text for that image. And if you have more than one picture on the same page, then just include that keyword in a phrase of a different, keyword. So if there is a second image on here, maybe I would say like red industrial cleaner, or SMICO or AJ mixing industrial cleaner, whatever the case may be. Use your discretion. You obviously will know what the photo is of, so you'll be able to craft a better title and alt text there. So that being said, tags, you don't really need to include these. These are optional. These are just if you have a search function on your website and you want people to be able to find your article based on different things that they're searching for. So right here is this is just an optional thing that you can include. Categories are also optional. If you plan to, include a sidebar on different pages of different like just categories of posts. So you can include, you can always go over here and hit add new category, and you can do different things like industrial, residential, things of that nature. However you want to categorize different blogs, you can add that over here in categories. And then one last thing I'm going to mention with the SEO is once you think you properly SEO'd it, just come up here to the top. You can either go to the top right or the very top here in the black. Make sure this Y, which corresponds with Yoast, make sure that is green. It'll say SEO good, and then it'll be green over here. That's just telling you that the page is good enough to be indexed by Google, and you're going to start ranking, as quickly as possible for the focus keyword that you put in down here in Yoast in the very beginning, right here. So the only other thing that I'll mention as well is readability. Readability isn't as important as optimizing the page for SEO and your focus keyword, but readability is still important. Readability just kind of deals with, how the text is laid out, how much text there is, and just how easy Google thinks your page is to read. So you're not always going to be able to get that to green good, but just definitely try to, and if not, I wouldn't stress about it, but it definitely doesn't hurt to get the readability good. For this specific one, it's it's red, needs improvement, but that's not going to really hurt you in the search rankings at all. So that's about it for the post. We can take a deep breath there. I know that's a lot. As you start doing it more and more often, though, it'll basically become like a routine, and then you'll be able to get the hang of it and just kind of just bang them out rather quickly. So moving on from posts and blogs, we're going to go down here to the next column here, which is media. So media, I briefly showed you while creating that blog post. This is just going to contain all of the photos you have stored on your website. So if you ever need to go in here and, maybe you want to find something or move something, link out to an image or whatever the case may be, you can find that in here. And then you can search for media items. This only works if you save your photos with a specific file name. But if you do that, you can search for images. You don't really have a lot in either site. I mean, some sites have thousands and thousands of images. You can quickly go through here and find the exact image that you're looking for. So moving on to that, pages is the next like huge thing. I'm going to save that for last. Actually, I'm going to come back to pages at the very end. I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of these. Comments, don't worry about. Portfolio, don't worry about. Team, don't worry about. Contact, that's more so for me as a designer, creating contact forms. I can go over that in more depth in a different video if you would like to learn how to create and, manage and have contact forms integrate with your website and have them sent to your email addresses. But that's more of a high level thing that I don't think you guys will have to worry about. But one cool thing here is if you want to make sure that you're getting all of the emails sent to your email, or if you're not checking your email, you don't want to go through your inbox and search for all the website form submissions, you can go here to contact, click on submissions, and it'll actually bring up a list of all the contact form submissions to your site. And you can go in here and you can view this product interest form submission and see exactly who the sender was. Well, that's always going to be WordPress, but the sender is going to be down here. So it's going to be their email, the product they were interested in, their name, and then if they say anything more about their mixing needs, it'll show up right here. So that's a pretty cool feature. But moving on down the rest of this list, table press, don't worry about that. Newsletter, don't worry about that. Appearance, me as a designer, again, I deal a lot with this because I'm changing the CSS, the theme options, the plugin options, just a lot to do with the inner workings of the websites, a lot of the stuff that you don't see, behind the scenes work. But if you ever have any questions about any of these, feel free to ask me. One of them that you guys may use is the menus. So I'll just quickly go over that. Menus, this is the menu structure of your website. So if we just go there real quick, we'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So up here is your menu structure. This is considered a parent, and then things such as products, it has a drop down. So this is a subcategory of the parent menu item. So, just take note of how this is laid out, products. And then if we scroll back here to the back end, you'll see that all of the main category menu items are aligned left, all the way to the left here. So home, about us, products is all aligned to the left. And then the products are sub items of this main parent item. So, for example, if we want to add, let's just say we're going to add 3-column news as a new product. Obviously, that doesn't make sense, but just for the case of the example, we would go over here, view all. We can also search for any of these that we want by going over here. But if we want to add 3-column news as a new product, we would check that box, hit add to menu. It'll bring it up all the way at the bottom. And then you just can click, hold, and then, click, hold, and then, there we go. For some reason, my left click isn't working right now. But click, hold, and drag all the way up to the top. And then you can place it wherever you want. And then the order that you see on the back end is going to be the same exact order. So if I were to save this menu structure, I would go back to the front end of the website, and I would see that it would show up right here above heavy duty ribbon mixers in the drop down menu. And that's going to be the same with every single menu item here. It's pretty easy. You'll get the hang of it. Don't worry if you mess up. I can always come back here and fix it for you. And then one other thing I want to mention under appearance is going to be widgets. So if you go scroll the widgets, we're not going to save that. Widgets are actually where the footer items are. So if you ever want to change the footer text down here, if your phone number changes or your hours change, then you can go into here in appearance widgets and use footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, and footer 4, and that corresponds with the column. So footer 1 is here, footer 2 is the navigation, footer 3 is the working hours, and footer 4 is about A and J. And then, scrolling back to the widgets, there we go. Footer 1, you can see different blocks. So, a lot of this, it takes a little bit of time to get used to. It might not be intuitive. I'm not going to go through each one. But you can kind of play around here and see, if you're able to make changes, like for example, the working hours, that's extremely easy to change. You just hit this drop down here and you can change the hours. Actually, the hours are in theme settings, so that's actually not the best example. Um, let's actually, yeah, well, working hours was the title, so this is a good example. I'm sorry. So working hours, the text working hours, that would be the text block. So that corresponds with right here. That's the title. And then underneath there's actually a specific widget that comes along with this theme that allows you to intuitively and natively add all of the hours and days that correspond with each hour. So, you can see Monday, Tuesday, all of your hours are the same. So, besides Sunday being closed and Saturday. But if you ever want to change the hours, you just go into here and, change 8:30 to 9:30 and then hit save, and then it'll save on the front end. Again, I'm not going to save that, just showing you as an example. So let's go back over, continue scrolling down here on the left. Next is plugins. So the only thing that you guys really have to be concerned with here, unless you're building out new pages that need new features that would require a new plugin, the only thing that you guys can be aware of is this little number over here in the circle. It says 2. That means that there's 2 plugins that require an update. So let's click on there. Now plugins, once you install them, this is the only thing that you really have to do to maintain them. If you don't maintain your plugins, you're at risk for getting hacked. It's a security, like you just don't want to have your plugins not updated, because that's how WordPress hackers can get into the back end, because a lot of the times these plugins are made by third-party developers, and there's like back channels and different ways that hackers can exploit them to get into your site. So as long as you keep them updated, you'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. And don't like stress about it either. Like if you don't get to updating a plugin like in a week, 2 weeks, it's fine. You don't want to just go like 6 months to a year without updating your plugins, because that's really, really going to affect the page speed, and just like I said, it's going to make you vulnerable to attacks. So I'm also going to be going in here and periodically checking up on the websites and making sure everything's working fine. And with that check, I'll go in the plugins and I'll update these myself. But if you guys ever happen to be in the back end of the site, and it's also just good knowledge to know if you're ever using a different WordPress site, just make sure to go in here and update these. So for example, this anti-spam plugin isn't currently active because I have another one active, but I want to keep it here just in case I want to use it in the future. So you'll see right here, it'll be the same for every single plugin that needs to be updated. This little orange bar right here will come up and it'll say there's a new version of insert plugin here available. You can view the version details, which you'll never do, and you can update now. So this is what you'll click on right here, update now. It'll update, as you can continue to scroll. And then once it's done updated, it'll say updated and turn green. And then you're good to go. You don't need to save anything else. It's updated, it's there, it's permanently updated forever. So that's about it for the plugins. Users, if you guys ever want to, if you ever bring on someone new to the team who needs access to the website, this is where you'll add them, with their email address, name to the website, so they have their own login separate from the login that I provide you. So just one quick thing I want to show you here. You just go to users, add new users, username required. You can make that anything. So like if Tom's joining the team, you can make it Tom, you can make it Tom Jones 23, whatever you want it to make. Email is required, so it'd be like tomjones@yahoo.com. First name, this isn't really important, but you can just do Tom Jones. Website, you don't need to add anything there. The password, it's always going to give you a really long and crazy password. I recommend keeping it this way, just because WordPress, it can be susceptible to hacks and whatnot if you don't follow the necessary precautions. So if you're to change this password to like, I don't know, ABCD 4567, that's an easy password to guess, and it's an easy password for, bots to kind of crawl and test to see if they can actually get into your site. So, I recommend, even if you have like your own set of passwords that you use, I usually recommend just keeping this auto-generated password that WordPress gives you, because they're giving this to you for a reason. They know that, this string of characters and differentiation between uppercase, lowercase, and special characters like an exclamation point or parentheses, that's going to keep your website safe. So you can hit show password, bring this up, just copy it, store it somewhere safe, and then send it to the person, which they can use to then log in. You can also check or uncheck this box to send the user an email about their account being created, and then you can choose their role. Mainly, I would always recommend giving someone administrator access to WordPress, unless they're maybe like an intern or someone who's working on your website from a different country who you don't really trust or know that well. You can always just give them either like an author and editor access, so they can't make any real harming and damaging changes to your website in terms of like stealing it or like things of anything of that nature. But for the most part, 99% of the time, just give someone an administrator access. So moving on from there, tools you will not need to worry about. Visual Composer is the page builder that is used throughout the site to build all the pages, but you don't need to actually change any of the settings in here. So don't worry about this right here. Oops. And then settings. Settings you won't really need to worry about either, because I've already created the settings and set them how they should be. So you don't need to worry about any of these settings. SEO. This is done like I was showing you guys on the post. It's done on a post and page basis. So similar to Visual Composer, you'll never actually need to edit anything here. Custom permalinks, don't worry about. Quick redirects, don't worry about. And slider revolution, also don't worry about. So that being said, I know this is a lot of information. This video is going to go on way too long, but I want to make sure I cover everything, just in case you guys have a question. You can always refer back to this video for, any of the things that I've covered. And you can also give it to, like I said, new employees or new interns who aren't familiar with WordPress. They can watch this video and kind of learn the very quick high-level overview, ins and outs of how to use WordPress for the things that you guys will need to use it for, which is just basic editing and moving content around, et cetera, et cetera. So the last thing, which I saved for last, because it's the most important, is pages. So we'll quickly go there. Hopefully this video is recording, so that would be bad. It is recording, cool. Okay, so pages. This is where you're gonna edit pages. Obviously, like I said, everything other than a blog post is considered a page. So every other page on your website is a page. So you'll go to pages. What I like to do here is I like to sort by date. Right now, it's just sorted in alphabetical order. It's giving you some of like the pre-built demo pages. So you can, to get rid of that, you can sort by date. And then it'll bring up the pages that you've created most recently, which for the most part, those are the pages that you're going to be editing. So just a quick little hack. And then you'll see all the pages here. So, the applications page, the product category page, industrial, chemical, and plastic mixers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just dive into any one of these pages. Let's go into the chemical industry page. You just click edit, always click edit. Then it'll bring you to this page. Now, since I went over the SEO in the post, it's going to be exactly the same in pages. So see right here, you see SEO good. That means we SEO optimized it correctly down here for the keyword chemical, and then the page is optimized for that keyword. So this is like the crux of how the website is built. It's used in conjunction with Visual Composer, which is a drag and drop page builder, but it's also very flexible and you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. Let's see. You're always like actually, let's go to this page so we can see it better. So on this page, you see text on the left, you see a heading, you see another heading over here, forget a quote now, you see a contact form. Underneath, you see typical applications and configurations. And then underneath here is the footer. So this footer down here is what I showed you guys earlier in the widget. So this is going to be consistent on every single page, and you will not have to edit this on a page level. Now, this over here, this is what's going to get changed and edited. So if we go back to edit page, you'll see a 2-column setup layout right here with custom headings, a text block, and a contact form element here. Now this empty space is here because we want to push some of this stuff down so it's not covered behind the menu. If you're going to create another page that's similar to a page that's already created, so if you want to add a new application page, what I recommend is going up here to this little icon that has the top bar and then the 2 columns here. It says templates. Click on this and it'll bring you up a list of the templates that I've created myself. But for you guys, just so it's easy, if you wanted to create another application page that's similar to this, you can go up to templates and then save this page as a template. So you could say, you know, if Fergus was in here, you could say Fergus chemical page, and then today's date, 11/10, just to keep it organized. And then if you were go to create a new page, after hitting save template, you would go to create a new page, which is there's over here, pages, add new, or you can go up here to new and then page. Either way works just fine. And then on the new page, you know, none of this stuff will be here. It'll just be a blank canvas. You can go back to templates and then load the template by hitting the plus sign over here of this Fergus Chemical page 11/10 that you just created. And what that'll do, it'll bring up all of the content that you see here, exactly how it is. Now, if you're going to do that, the only other thing I would suggest is going up here to CSS, this little cogwheel, click on that, and then copy all the CSS that I have in here. And then, oh, there goes Mac calling me. I'll decline that, call him right back. So all the CSS in here, you want to copy that and then paste it into the CSS cogwheel of the new website. What that'll do is it'll allow all the settings that I've created myself to carry over to the new page. So for example, moving on, if we want to edit some of this text, you know, just hover over this box right here, hit the pencil icon, and then go into here, and it's exactly like a post. You'll just edit it like a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document. You'll edit it. You know, you can backspace, delete, add new text, whatever the case may be. You know, change the title tags, change the bold to italicized, all that stuff. You know, it's done through a text. A custom heading, you know, that just allows you to use the font that's, you know, it's the generic font that comes with the theme, the font that's used throughout the entire website. You can also use headings with the text, but I like to kind of organize it by custom heading and then text. You would just write your text in here, your element tag heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to align the text center, left, right, you can do that there. You can adjust the font size. If you don't type anything in here, nothing will change. You can change the color. Always check this box right here, use theme default font family. That'll keep everything consistent. And then you can just hit save changes and then it'll come up right there. So I guess just quickly, I'll run through some of the elements that you can use. I mean, I could make a whole hour to 2-hour video on Visual Composer, but I'm not going to do that. This is just a high-level overview. If you have any specific questions, just, you know, ask me and I'll help you out as best I can. But if you want to add like a new, if you want to add some content underneath here, so say you wanted to add, you know, more text down here and put like a call to action button, go back to here, hit the plus sign. You're always going to want to insert a row first. Before you do anything else, insert the row. That'll basically bring up a container for you to work through. And then you're going to hit this plus sign right here. And then you can go and add whatever you want. So like we mentioned, text block, contact form, you know, you can put a horizontal line separator, you can put some icons. A lot of this stuff that I don't use or I wouldn't typically use unless it's a special occurrence. Buttons are always important to use, and you can play around with how the button works. It's very easy to use. What else do we have that you could use here? A lot of this stuff, like I said, is kind of useless for our purposes. But you know, you can play around with these on like a new page, on a page that isn't live. and then kind of see what they do and how they work. But if you want to add some content here, you can just start typing here. If you want to center it, you can just highlight it, hit center here. What these lines over here do is it allows you to separate the rows into different columns. So right now, this is just one column spanning the entire width of the screen. If you want to, clone what's up here, you can do the 2 column, which is the second one. 3 columns, easily doable. If you want one of the columns that, like the left-hand column, to be a little bit larger than the right, you can use that one. And you get the point. You can play around with the rest of them and see exactly what it can do. So the last piece of advice I will give you on a page is if you want to make a change to a page that's currently live and you don't want the changes to be live until you test it out, this is how you test it. So if I want to see how this start typing looks centered in a full row, I would go up, I would, do what I just did, go up here to preview, not update, preview, right here. And it'll bring me up the page, and then here's what I just added, start typing. It'll show up, and this is how it'll work. So the reason I say this is because if you do something to a page and you think it's going to turn out one way and you end up breaking the rest of the page, if you update it, you can't go back, and have the page be what it was like before you updated it and made the changes live. However, if you use the preview functionality, you can see what it's going to look like before you actually make the changes live. And if for some reason you do, mess something up or you don't like how it looks and you don't know what you did to get there, all you need to do is refresh the page, hit reload, and it'll bring it back to the way it was because you actually didn't save anything live to the front end of the website. You just previewed what it would look like. So that's going to conclude my video. I know it went super long. I hope it was helpful. Like I said many times, if you have any specific questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. Or Mac, and then we'll try to help you out as much as possible. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, weekends, whenever you're watching this video. Have a great day, and this is Chris. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.